Hello, it's Huang here. Can you guys hear me? I have my mic on. I have been away from the office for a few days. So one of the things that I do is I go away to learn about business, and I go away to learn about skills. So I'm constantly learning, and I hope to continue to bring more and more of that learning to you. You're going to see this is the back office. There's tons of stuff. Actually, I have right on top of that my shredder. Right on top of my shredder, I have a box of plaster. What is it called? I was saying it wrong the other day. Plaster of Paris splinting material. Actually, I was practicing with my staff. Was it last week? I was practicing with them last week before I left. So I should be getting that video to you guys in probably next week. So we have that. We have splint material back here, and I always have extra splint material so I can practice with the staff. And I think it's just like a really huge, really important thing in occupational therapy, any field, that you've got to develop and work on your skills. And in therapy, there's like the hands-on skills, right? There's the hands-on skills, whether it be like wound care, whether it be creating custom fitted orthosis, whether it be working with surgical patients, non-surgical patients, and you break it up into hands, wrists, elbows, and shoulders, and neck. So many different things. And it's important. It's important to think about through the year. I'm doing it much more now than I ever did in the beginning of my career. And I think in the beginning of my career, I was a little bit more sporadic. Like if I saw a course that I wanted to go to or wanted to take, I know a lot of people really do think about costs, and it's very, very important. But also you need to weigh it against, like, what are you going to learn? What do you want to learn? And how fast do you want to learn it? So it is important to take courses that are in your area, or maybe thinking about how can I take a course that's in my area. But I would encourage you as well to think outside your area and think about, what class are you really trying to take, or not. It's not a class. It's what's the skill that you're trying to develop. Now, you can take courses that are online. I offer online classes. I've offered live courses in my clinic, which is a play off of the course that I'm creating online, but then there's like the hands-on component to it as well. And it's something that I really look forward to being able to do more this year, which is bring more smaller form courses into hands-on therapy services for the Hand Therapy Secrets community. So keep an eye out for that. But think about the courses that or the skills that you are looking to hone in, specialize with, or anything like that, that maybe it's not in your neck of the woods. I use this as a great opportunity to travel. So this past weekend I was in New Orleans, and someone messaged me like, oh my god, I live there. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Sometimes when I do have time, or I have built in extra time and I'm more by myself, I'll put out there like, hey, who wants to meet me for a drink? Who wants to meet me for like a bite to eat or anything. This time around I was going with one of my staff members, and so I wanted to give her a lot of my time and attention and make sure that I showed her around. Went to New Orleans. Love that place. Last year I had an opportunity to go twice, and I'm obsessed with grilled oysters. So good. And I'm so sad this time I only had it once. The last time I went last year, I literally, every meal I had included grilled oysters or fried oysters, and every meal had seafood in it. And this time around, was with different people. Last time I went was very much for leisure, no work at all. This time was pretty much all work, but I always like to build a day in where I get to explore the city and stuff like that. And this time around, I was bringing my assistant Claudia, and she had never been to New Orleans before, and so I wanted to make it really about like her and what she got to see and what she got to do. And we hit the ground running. We got there, and we went out a little bit, and then we had a whole day where we just hung out with other people. I was there on a business trip, like on a business learning trip. So I was there meeting with other business owners that I know and stuff like that. So we met, and we just spent like all Friday just hanging out, eating. I wanted to make sure that we had beignets at Cafe Du Mont and the Cafe Olay there. And we walked around town showing her the square, just like people watching. And then I had to have a shrimp po' boy sandwich, and I'm always trying to make this girl eat a little bit out of her comfort, which I did every single time. She's brave. Like, she was normally someone who just like wanted to eat very specific things, very plain, but I'm slowly helping her to experiment a little, which I love. Like, so much about the journey that I'm on it's not just for myself, but it's like, how can I bring people along with me? How can I invite people on this journey that I'm on and introduce them to new and different things that they might not have ever thought of, or maybe they it helps them to grow, not just professionally, right, but how to help them grow personally as well. Like, it's exciting to me to be able to bring her with me, have the opportunity to bring her with me, and have the opportunity to show her things that maybe she hadn't considered doing or whatever. So we went and ate. We had shrimp po' boy sandwiches, and we went to this bar, had some beer, and then walked around town, did some things. I know, Louisa, you love those places. Grilled oysters, you and me, we're like this. Soon you will be with me. Stop pissing people off, okay? And then you can finish and be with me. So, but yeah, it was a great opportunity. We went to sandwich shops, but then we also had opportunity to go to high-end restaurants, and it's very interesting to from different lenses observe and see different things. Like, I'm an observer. I'm an occupational therapist, hands down, by trade, by training. I observe things. I observe people all day long. I observe how they move their arms, how they walk, how they talk, like everything, how they eat, how they drink, like you name it, I'm watching. And that's just like my thing, I guess. It's always been something I'm really, like, I enjoy doing. I like to observe people. But now, as a business owner, I get to observe from different lenses. I observe how businesses are run. What do they do really well? What do they do really well? What don't I like about that? What do I want to do with my own that I really like, and what value do I have to provide to other people? So there are so many great things, but one of the things that I like to be reminded of is really the journey I'm on, and who am I inviting along with me. What was one of the what's my makes me think, what's my vision for the businesses that I have, and what's my mindset when it comes to that? Do I have a growth mindset, or do I have a fixed mindset? So many different things. So I encourage everyone to have a growth mindset, and it really comes with it comes down to being coachable. Look at my hair. Oh, dear Lord. Being coachable. Studying, reading books, surrounding yourself with people who challenge how you think. That's just the start of thinking about your mindset and growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So, in terms of like therapists, and when you're getting started, what are you thinking? What are you doing to help grow your skills and develop and grow your confidence, right? So I encourage you definitely to have a growth mindset in the sense that, be coachable, keep studying, keep learning. Not only am I doing courses and events and stuff like that from a business standpoint, I still do courses, whether they be online, for my skills, because I want to keep up to date with what's going on. I want to know what's new. I also want to learn and compare different techniques and methodologies and thinking around stuff. So I've taken online classes. I can still do some of that. I take live classes, and so one of the things that I do is I say, well, where do I want to go next? Who do I want to visit? That's a friend of mine, and I might look for courses out there. Actually, I have a family that live in Seattle, so I actually was thinking about, I was going to go out to Seattle and visit my family out there and stuff like that. So I found a course out there, and I said, okay, let me take it. So my husband and kids we're all flying out on the same day. We're going to go hang out with some family, and we had this whole plan, trip and everything to go skiing and, visit a certain part of Canada and stuff like that. Anyway, lots of stuff going on right now, right? But that's what my course ended up getting canceled. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It just means that, now I get my money back and I will pick another course, My budget's already allocated for a certain amount of education, and now I just I can go to another place. I wish I could still do it in Seattle. I already had reached out to other therapy friends and stuff like that, and let's get together and talk business and talk whatever skills and family and so many different aspects of our lives that we can share with different people. But it's always fun when you have certain things in common and you all have a passion for it. So anyway, my plans have changed just a little bit, but definitely mindset is one thing that I want to share with you, because having a growth mindset and being reminded of continuing to take courses, continuing to read books that help grow and develop you just from a personal level, can help you develop as a in anything that you do, whether it's your business, your family life, any of that. But having that type of mindset and making sure that you take action towards that, taking courses that are not just in town, taking courses that develop specific skills. I read different books that remind me. I should get you a list of books, huh? I'm not that good about that. I do. I've been reading different books, but sometimes I can't finish it all. So I'm definitely been more of an audiobook person. And then I do a lot of podcasts as well. I don't know why I've been kind of binging Tim Ferriss lately. His podcasts are super long though, so sometimes I just kind of listen it because it's something I can start and stop, I guess. It's one of them. But there's so many different ones, and really it's just about finding what you're interested in, and then that way you just keep doing it and do more of it. So that's one thing that I took away from the weekend. Another thing I wanted to share, I'm actually in the process of hiring somebody right now, and it cracks me up because I do videos, right? I've done videos on resumes, I've done videos on interviews, and I think that there's still a lot more, a few other things that I can keep talking about when it comes to that. But let me just tell you, I'm on the market to hire someone to help me, like a social media assistant person. So it's a relatively entry-level position with a lot of room to grow, right? I need very specific skills, but let me tell you something. Man, oh man. This is a young woman. She is finishing high school. She has more skills when it comes to that whole interview process than I think most college students and most OTs come out with. I had a very nice phone interview with her. But here's my process. I usually post it somewhere, then I ask people to do very specific things. I'm asking people to do very specific things, one, because I want to see if they're paying attention and reading what they should be reading and being able to follow directions, right? Simple OT 101, follow 1-step commands, follow 2-step commands. Like, seriously, this is OT stuff. But not only did she follow the steps, then we got on a phone call. We had a very nice phone conversation. She was very eloquent. She spoke very well for a senior in high school, more than I would say some grown-ups. But the one thing that she did that really, really impressed me was, as soon as I got off the phone with her, she sent me a thank you email. Let me tell you, on one hand, on one very small hand, how many people do that. And I mean, I got off the phone, like I was interviewing all last week, phone interviews. I mean, some people couldn't follow the directions I was giving them. They weren't even answering my damn phone calls when we had set up a phone interview. I mean, so ridiculous, right? But then on top of that, when I do get calls through with people, or when I do get people who come in and do an in-person interview, they don't even have the courtesy to send a follow-up email to say thank you, right? If you are struggling, if you're an occupational therapist and you are struggling to get a job because you live in an area that's highly populated with occupational therapists looking for a job, and you're trying to look for a job, and not just any job, but the job that you want, okay? Not any job, but job that you want. I promise that you will increase the likelihood and the chance that you would have another interview or be able to go through another step, or increase the likelihood if they compared you to another person. Those little things really matter. Can you follow the directions? Did you show up on time and pay attention? And like, honestly, did you go and make that extra step of sending in a thank you that said, wow, I'm really interested, I'm really invested? You might increase your chances of getting that full-time job over someone else who didn't do it, right? So that is going to be the tip of, like, my tip for today. Like, honestly, that's my tip for today. So first, I talked a lot about mindset and growth, and just, making sure that you're in a growth mindset and taking classes, studying. But the second thing is, like, what are you doing to really increase the likelihood, increase your chances of getting a job in the area that you want? I promise you, if you send a thank you email, you're totally going to increase your chances more than the person who didn't, right? That's just one potential to get you a job in occupational therapy, because those jobs are out there. So anyway, that's it for me today. Next week, we will continue to do what we normally do, which is talk about your skills and talk about where you're stuck and what you're needing help on. So normally what I do is I post something, and then on Sunday, and I post that, hey, if you have any questions and stuff like that. Of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to send them in, but I'll answer your questions next Monday at 3 o'clock when you submit them. All right, until then, thank you so much, and party people, I will talk to you next time. Bye.